Where the actual Sigma is Splatoon Raiders? That is the question that we are dealing with in today's very quickly and poorly made unscripted Splatoon video. That's right, kids, we're asking the questions here. That's what we do. Nah, more seriously. So if you are in my Discord server, which if you're not, there's a link in the description. I made sure it actually works. I was talking about how during the last Nintendo Direct, I really thought we were going to get an announcement for a release date for Splatoon Raiders, which hindsight 2020 was a pretty crazy idea, but at the time it wasn't as crazy as it may have seemed. It's very obvious that this is made in the same engine they did Splatoon 3 with very little modification, and from concept art that we've seen, we can see that the new Inklings design has like elements that they planned for Splatoon 3. So a lot of the planning here we could see has very clearly been done, and hell, I'm honestly on the conspiracy theory that Raiders is probably what would have been either wave 3 or 4 of the Splatoon 3 expansion pass, which at the time I really didn't agree with. But looking at what we have of the Raiders trailer, you know what? I believe it at this point. And going off Nintendo's business practices, it would not shock me if they saw something that they were originally going to charge $20, $25 for and thought, why on earth would we do that when we could charge 60 or 70? Which the price is something I also want to talk about in a sec too. Also, given the fact that they kind of just dropped the trailer completely out of nowhere on like a random Tuesday. I mean, it wasn't that random given that I think it was it Splatoon 3's 3rd anniversary, or was it just the series' 10-year anniversary? I don't know. It might have been somewhere in between those two. But given the fact of all of that, it really made it seem like we were a lot closer to Raiders getting announced and maybe even having a 2025 release date than it ended up being. Which, funnily enough, makes us 3-0 on Nintendo announcing Splatoon games way too early, only to make us wait what's most likely going to end up being a year, or given the track record, over a year between announcement and actual release date. Which really sucks and makes us ask the question, where the Sigma is Splatoon Raiders? Now, there's not a whole ton that we know of what's going on with the Splatoon team. There's a lot of stuff that God's strongest Nintendo YouTuber, Nintendo Forecast, was able to discern, and that it kind of maybe sort of looks like the Splatoon team and the Animal Crossing team don't have as much overlap as they used to anymore. And given the fact that we know Splatoon 3 was made by junior developers and that game absolutely was sacrificed to the wolves to get those developers trained on how to actually make a good game. So we know they have relatively different teams now. There is a team dedicated to Splatoon and a team dedicated to Animal Crossing that might have a little bit of overlap, but nowhere near what it was for Splatoon 1 and 2, which makes me just really curious, where is this game? It's no secret that the launch lineup over the last few months, since we're still in the Switch 2's launch window, it's been pretty lackluster. Like, and yeah, we got our 3D Mario game, even though it was Donkey Kong. We had Mario Kart, we just had Pokemon, and maybe we shouldn't have just had Pokemon. Splatoon 3 saw an update, so I mean, the game's technically covered for the year of 2025. If you didn't know, there's been something Splatoon related every single year. 15, we got 1, 16, we got Final Fest, 17, 2, 18, Octo, 19, we got Final Fest, 20, we got the first rerun, 21, we got 3's announcement and some reruns, 22, we got 3, 23, we got Wave 1, 24, Side Order, 25, we got the update we just got a few months ago and the announcement of Raiders. So we're covered for the year in terms of like getting Splatoon content. So it's very clear this is going to be a 26 release title. But when in 26 is the real question, and I am very dreadfully thinking that it is going to be another quote-unquote summer title, and by summer title I mean late, barely making it into the summer window, just like Splatoon 3 is. Just based off the track record that the people making Splatoon games have of, like I said earlier, they get announced way too early and it takes way too long for them to actually make it onto our consoles. If normal track records hold up, we are not going to get another Nintendo Direct until like February. So the last Direct was the last possible chance we had at seeing something new. There is, however, the very slight possibility that they just like stealth drop a ton of new information on the Nintendo Today app, which show of hands, how many of you guys actually like use that? I don't even have that app downloaded. I like remember hearing about it when it launched, and then I heard later on after I saw the Raiders trailer and the update, oh god, was it 11:10 for 3, the trailer that had both the things in it, that it was like revealed earlier on the Nintendo Today app, and then like a little bit later they put it on Twitter and YouTube and stuff like that. There's a chance that could happen, but like I don't know, man. Even if it does, the Nintendo Today app being lame is a totally different discussion that does not really matter right now. We're talking about Splatoon Raiders. There's the whole point here I'm trying to make throughout my rambling is that once again we are in another really stupid situation where we have been given what is coming next. They set the expectation really high with these really nice trailers that really get us scratching at our brains like, ooh, what's coming next? I'm so excited, only to hear absolutely nothing for a stupid long period of time. And it's not like this happens with many other Nintendo franchises. I mean, like, yeah, and I guess it is bad with Splatoon, but we could always be Metroid fans. The recent 3-0 track record of releases, though, it's really starting to take its toll on me, at least, and I know a lot of other Splatoon fans probably feel the same way as well. Like, you know, maybe I could have lived without hearing about this if it wasn't going to be more than like a year from when it actually comes out. Like, maybe they should have been announcing this game at the last Direct we had. It definitely would have put a lot more wind in the sails of that Direct, because one last thing being Fire Emblem is something I think maybe like 6 people watching this video will actually give a damn about. Splatoon is a much more popular franchise than Fire Emblem, so maybe switching the announcements, we're gonna drop on a random Tuesday Fire Emblem, and then, hey, by the way, one last thing, and it's a single-player Splatoon spinoff. That would have been a lot more, actually, let's give an actual example here. I remember when Splatoon 3 was revealed, and there was, for like, I think 3 solid days, Splatoon 3 was trending on Twitter at the time. We would have had the same equivalent to that, because it was revolutionary to us at the time, at the time being like 2 months ago. But when it was announced that we were getting a single-player Splatoon, holy crap, I'm keeping that in there. When it was announced that we were getting a single-player Splatoon spinoff, that was like, that's the thing we all wanted. That was the thing that we were hoping that we could possibly get. Like, we were talking about, oh, maybe we get like a top-down Splatoon RPG, maybe we get some other spinoff. And I will never forget the one absolute batshit crazy Nintendo YouTuber whose name I forgot was talking about wanting a Splatoon party game in like 2020. That's some deep lore that if you know, you know. I don't know. But nah, they went the one approach that we didn't think they would end up going, that we all secretly in the back of our heads, and maybe not secretly, but we all wanted, just we thought wouldn't end up happening, is just like keeping it straightforward, normal Splatoon gameplay, and just really going hard on single player. And we come to find out that's what we're getting, and then just nothing ever happens. I'm gonna abruptly pivot here to something I was talking about on stream a few days ago, and that would be, how much is this game going to cost? I'm honestly, I've been huffing the hopium lately, and I really do not think this game is going to end up being $60, or not $60, sorry, $70. I don't think there's any way that's going to happen. If it does, that's going to be freaking crazy, man. $70 for a Splatoon without multiplayer would genuinely be one of the craziest things of all time. There's no world where that ends up being worth it. I think $60 is very likely here. I'm given Nintendo's evil business practices lately, I still don't see a spin-off of something really untested ending up hitting 70, unless they're like, I don't know, maybe it's just cope, maybe it'll end up being 70. I guess I don't actually have as much big of an argument as I think. And then when we find out it's gonna be 70, I'll make another video screaming about, Nintendo's evil, just like everyone else on the goddamn internet. I honestly have huffed so much copium, and I'm going to really argue my point here. that this could be the first case that we see Nintendo use of the variable pricing model that they established when they were giving excuses for Mario Kart World being $80. I think this one might end up being 50. Like, it doesn't seem like the scale of this game is going to be the biggest thing to ever grace the franchise. It seems like they've already got a lot of the groundwork already established, given the fact they don't seem to be changing the engine too much. And we've seen that they're implementing previous concepts into this game. And granted, we don't have too many examples of that, but from what we've seen, there's enough to estimate that they're going back, looking at old work, taking some old examples, and just taking what didn't land in 3 and really fleshing them out here. We could end up seeing a $50 Switch 2 game here. And I know that's a lot of cope, but honestly, I think it'll be a good example, or at least a good test, to see how much they really are going to commit to this whole variable pricing thing, and we'll find out if it's just a complete load of BS, which it most likely will end up being, because the bad things always happen, the good things never do. But if it does happen, it'll be proof that variable pricing can mean that some games that they don't have to put as much work into will not be as expensive as games where they supposedly, per their word, say they put a lot of work into, like Mario Kart World, and we see the other end of the spectrum. That's what I'm trying to point across here. They have said that this is variable, so hypothetically, it is a non-zero chance that we see this game ending up for sale for lower than what is the typical MSRP of even 70 or 60. But yeah, that is a really long yap session, roughly 11 minutes, 12 of where the actual Sigma is Splatoon Raiders. I got the idea of the title while I was taking a shower a few days ago, and like, I have no idea what I want to talk about for it yet, but where the Sigma is Splatoon Raiders is a really funny title, and I want to make that a video just so I can see that title on my channel. Yeah, anyways, guys, sorry, I don't end these videos like that. I gotta remember, I'm like trying to rizirone pill my head here. But anyways, gamers, that is it from me. See ya. I will be streaming relatively soon. Like I said, the Discord server is live still. The link works. Come join. I miss talking to you guys. All right, see ya.